What are the realistic price targets for Bitcoin for this year as well as 2025, so for the bull market? And if we're going to look at just in general the history of the Bitcoin price, this is basically what it's going to look like. It's not going to tell us much until we do a bit of in-depth analysis of different patterns, different fundamentals, macro events, liquidity, which is money flow from certain assets to other assets, out of all assets into fiat currencies, etc. So today, I'm going to try to summarize all of this in under 10 minutes and give you my price predictions depending on different mechanics and also different calculations and probabilities as to what could happen with quite a few factors that actually going to influence the price of Bitcoin going forward. And certainly, before I do, remember guys that bull market is coming nonetheless, and you need a place that you can actually trust and where you can actually trade. And me personally, and as well as my hedge fund as well, we take a lot of the positions, especially the futures positions, on Bybit. And with my exclusive link that you can find down in the description of this video, but just between us, and from what I understand, I'm going to be removing these bonuses because Bybit has been giving out the biggest bonuses in the history of humankind, and they are real, and we have verified it. I've seen my community members actually get them. So but that's going to be the case only if you're going to use my exclusive link, which you can find down in the description of this video, which is going to, you can pause the screen and take a look. You'll get up to $30,000 in initial deposit bonuses, and also we do different giveaways for the community on Bybit, and also different education that I give away that actually costs money, all of which you can find in my Discord, link to which is in the description. And all deposited users, which is the most important aspect, get access to my Crypto Signals community for absolutely free for lifetime. And there is 40,000 traders in there. And this is one of the most profitable trading communities in the entire world. And we actually post different altcoin trades and with different explanations. And it's far beyond just technical analysis. It's very deep. It's liquidity, it's momentum, it's market makers. So something that you will not find in the traditional crypto guru bullshit type of a group. This is serious stuff. And what actually proves the point is that raid results posted by the members. And if you just scroll through the results, 200%, 200%, 200%, 200%, 90%, 20%. This is all posted by real members. There's 40,000 people in there. 700%, 300%. This is pretty crazy. Minus 6%, so some losses as well, but that's normal. But most of this is real. This is unedited, absolutely real, posted by the members. So, and again, there is no way to get into it for money. You cannot pay for it. The only way you can create a Bybit account using my exclusive link down in the description of this video, deposit money into your account, use that account, and use your UID. There is an instruction in Discord as to how to actually join. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. But you will need your UID, and the bot will let you in within like 24 hours. So detailed instruction is in the Discord, and this is going to be the most profitable trading community for the bull market to come. So join us, join Bybit. Even if you already have an account, you can create a new one simply by using your another ID, maybe a driver's license or some other form of ID that you didn't use in your previous account to do the KYC. So anyway, let's just jump straight into this and let's discuss as to what is happening and what we can expect from the price this year of 2024 and the 2025. So a lot of people have been saying, if we go in and we zoom in into what is happening as of right now, we'll see a lot of people saying that, ETF was announced, so finally we can see the sell the news type of an event, which actually happened, and we spoke about it, and I did warn you about it. So far, we actually went down from like 49K down to like 38.5, which was basically 20% correction. But so far, if we look at the outflows from Grayscale, and just general momentum in the market, most likely that this selling pressure is over. So now we're in no man's land. And I'm actually quite happy to see that the sell the news from the ETF was actually only 20% correction. So now a lot of people are saying that, okay, we saw that, fine. But next thing is going to be Bitcoin halving. And we're going to see a huge correction just because there's going to be this sell the news of halving. So, and sell the news event before 2024, price all time. So a lot of people are actually calling for all-time highs in 2024, but they're actually calling for a big correction to come because of halving. That usually, when the halving happens, we're going to see a sell-off just like always. So, and before I give you my actual price targets and everything that I see and my hedge fund sees, Crowell Capital, what do we do, how do we position our forecasts, and before I give you all of that, let me just put this to bed. Because in my opinion, this sell the news of halving is BS. So why that is BS, let's just go back into history. And actually, you know what, let's just go into daily chart. It's going to take a while. But let's go back to the previous halving. which was actually precisely right here, May 11th of 2020. And before halving happened, we had a 16% correction. But as soon as it happened, right here at the purple line, it actually pumped up. Again, the same basically 20%. So was there any sell the news type of an event? No. The answer is no, it's BS. And then we just went to the upside. We broke out of this level that was very important for us right here, the yellow one. We retested it right here, and we just moved off into the bull market itself. So there was nothing. But okay, let's go further into the history, and maybe, just maybe, we will find this effect in the previous halving. Let's have a look. So 2016, 9th of July. Okay, this looks more like it. So here, before halving happened, we actually had about an 18% drop. And then after halving happened, we had another 28% drop. So, okay, this is a bit painful. So maybe this is what they're basing their conclusions and predictions on. But let's go and verify. What happened with the previous, which was by coincidence, also the first ever halving? Which narrative does it support? And look at this, nothing. So actually, as soon as halving happened, it just kept pumping into the bull market. So therefore, we can actually conclude that full on this theory has actually happened only once. And it was the second halving, which third one was also very questionable in terms of, okay, you know, something small. But then the price, you know, pumped back up to the same level within 3 days. 3 days. So then can we conclude that we're going to see a big sell-off during halving, once halving happens, before, after? No, we cannot predict this. It could happen, it might not happen. So therefore, me and my hedge fund, for example, and my team of analysts, we are focusing on something we can actually predict. And these kinds of things is just nothing more than mere speculation and something that people just say to gain attention and get likes, and views, and whatever. So, but this is just nonsense. What matters more, what we use in our hedge fund and Crollo Capital as means of predicting things is something that we can measure. And what we can measure is liquidity, is money inflow, is macro, is what Fed could possibly do and which could in turn actually affect the liquidity and money flow into a particular asset. And that is this right here, which this, for example, paints a better picture because in previous bull markets, we've had good runs, we had crazy pumps, but when we evaluate what actually was the train, the locomotive for the move, it was always something small, minuscule, like retail, etc. This right here, what we are seeing currently, and this current bull market is coming up, is going to be institutionally led, which hasn't happened before. And this is what matters far more than possible short-term 3, 4, 2, 5, 15-day sell the news type of an event, when we have only BlackRock, within a couple of weeks of ETF being traded openly, has already accumulated 70,000 Bitcoin, one entity, within a couple of weeks. And when we have only like, 21 million total supply of Bitcoin, you know, in total that will be after all Bitcoin is mined into the year of 2140. So this is huge. And it already owns like $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. So what actually matters is this right here. Is the continuation of the escalation of accumulation by these big institutions and big asset managers and big money who hasn't been here before. So this is going to be the craziest, possibly craziest cycle ever. So, but then how do you evaluate this? And these things you can only evaluate as you go. So that's why we're going to be paying very close attention. So subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're always notified when I make a new upload. And also join my free Telegram channel. There's a link in the description. This is where we post the alerts as well, just in case you miss it on YouTube. So here, what matters is this going to be accelerating or decelerating? We already see that Grayscale has slowed down their dump, but will the accumulation accelerate or at least stay the same? Because if it's going to stay the same, we have halving, we have so many things coming up, and also liquidity from Fed and the quadfactor, trifecta, whatever. So is it going to be good enough? It's going to be crazy enough. But if it's going to decelerate, and then suddenly we realize that after all, institutions are simply not interested, or not as interested as we thought, or that they didn't have enough time to become interested. Because remember, corporations, they need to get together 15,000 times, have a bunch of shit meetings, discuss things and board meetings and memorandums and adjustments before they actually can go and buy Bitcoin. So that being said, before they actually make the decision to get into it, there might not be enough time in this cycle. So it is a theoretical possibility, which paints still a good picture anyway, because what we can actually monitor these numbers daily and conclude whether the volume is at least staying the same or increasing. So that being said, this brings me to the actual prediction that I have. And first, let's get 2024 out of the way because everybody's always interested. In my opinion, 2024, my prediction is right here. So regardless of what happens in the short-term perspective, what I think is going to happen and what, after months and actually years of analyzing Bitcoin, different models and projections and macro and liquidity and market makers and blah, 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 and comparing all these numbers, what we think is going to happen in the case of no mass adoption, small institutional money influx, and nothing crazy to happen in 2024, I think we're going to at least retest our all-time highs. So possibly come in the vicinity of 60K to 70K in the worst-case scenario for 2024, for this year. So yes, regardless of what happens, I think that this year is going to still be mega bullish, which puts the target maybe even at 2x. So this year, regardless of short-term volatility. Again, I'll repeat myself. So 2024 may be in the vicinity of the actual all-time high. We'll see how far it's going to go, how many people are going to get liquidated, how far we're going to push, how much of an effect the halving is going to have, and how huge is going to be that liquidity crunch that is going to actually send the price higher. But what I think, the 2024 doesn't really matter as much because it's a precursor year to the bull run, just historically and all the numbers wise, because it takes a bit of time for the actual liquidity to start flowing in, to actually start pushing like a motherfucker. So for this motherfucker to start pushing, what you want is to analyze the year of 2025. And for this, we have two targets. The first target remains actually quite similar to the year of 2024. And that is, again, no mass adoption, small institutional money influx, and some of these scenarios where I've discussed that, these things just keep reducing or they stay the same and it's just not enough. And it's just the hype is overblown and just, it's going to be postponed till next cycle, which is possible. Then my target is anywhere in the vicinity of 100,000 to 130,000 for 2025 and subsequently going into 2026. So this cycle, this bull run, which is going to be putting the market cap at about $2 trillion for Bitcoin. But what I think is more likely to happen is this target right here, which is basically the target that I have for 2025 and possibly the beginning of 2026. And this target is if we see true mass adoption at about 20% institutional money influx, which we already have, just we need to analyze as we go as to how monumental it's going to be, and therefore contributing to FOMO and the extra liquidity crunch, another FOMO, more FOMO, and crazy, crazy pumps. So the minimum that I see is 200,000. And maximum, I think, is going to be quite difficult for the Bitcoin with current liquidity and the amount of participation to get beyond 300,000. I know a lot of people want to see Bitcoin at 1 million. Me too. And I think at some point it will be at 1 million. But I would be extremely surprised to see it at 1 million in this current cycle. So I think it's going to be the number for possibly the next cycle. Could be at 1 million. And it's actually more than possible. And tell me in the comments, maybe I should do another video discussing why it is possible for Bitcoin mathematically to be at 1 million. Analyzing all the current assets and how much money there is, how much money is being printed, how much money could come into Bitcoin, etc. So therefore, this is my upper limit target of about 250. So 250 for me will be the golden area, which actually right now at 40K within the next 24 months, this is an amazing freaking return if you ask me. So, but what we need to keep paying attention to is this right here, in my personal humble opinion, as well as macro, liquidity from the government, money printing, and that's about it. So, and I'm certainly going to keep you guys updated. Remember about the bonuses over on Bybit. Use the link, register right now, deposit money, create a new account if you already had an account, just using your new ID, and certainly join my free Discord channel. This is what I showed you in the beginning of the video. It's really worth to be in there because this is institutional level strategy that we're deploying, and it's free for all Bybit traders, but those who use my link to sign up. And certainly, you can copy my trades all you want, but if you don't know how to trade properly and how to actually place trades and how to actually use proper risk and money management, that's not very good. So check out this quick tutorial right here on the screen. Spend the time, it's worth it. It's free, and learn how to actually use the platform correctly, how to place orders correctly, how to use proper risk and money management, how to trade Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies so that you actually don't lose money because of stupid, idiotic mistakes, which you cannot afford in this bull run if you want to make generational wealth. And as always, peace and love. Thomas Krallo. Stay smart, stay very rich, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.